Okay. Man, I really don't know. I hate my situation, I guess. It's a few days later. It's a few days later than the last one. And well, I guess I gotta talk again. So emotions are running pretty high, I guess. Again. Um I remember I, re- I remember as a kid. I remember as a kid I was having fun with some friends. I think at the end of the day, at the end of the school day, during prime school. And, I don't know, some parent was saying something like, yeah, stop doing that. Because we were doing dumb kids things. And then another parent spoke to that parent who said, like, stop doing what you're doing. And basically, she said, just let them be kids, because now they have the time to have fun. You know, they have she said something like they have plenty of time to be to have a rough life when they're older. And I never really understood that statement. I never understood that. I was always like, life is so simple if you just play it right. It doesn't have to be difficult, and if it is difficult, you'll get through it. The last 7 months to 8 months, I've really been learning what it means, what she was talking about. I just watched. Well, I just finished watching something that I wasn't supposed to watch. It's my favorite show of all time, Attack on Titan. It's actually where this cape is from. You know, I'm just a big fan of it. And I don't know, I've been wanting to watch that, and apparently, like, I'm just done with the final season. Apparently there's gonna be a last thing this year that's gonna release to like end the show. But like, I just finished it. I actually was gonna watch it with Mendy, but I know I can't. I have to watch it by myself because this is just me, and I want to share that. But first, I want to have seen it. You know, none of this actually matters to why I started this video. I'm worried. It's about, you know, of course, what I have. I'm not sure what I said in my last video. I mean, I have a rough idea of what it was about. I was very happy with it. But holding on is becoming increasingly harder. Funny enough. I mean, obviously, it's just too much to bear right now. You know, I tried to play life safe. I tried to play life smart, you know. I never expected that something as simple as a weight on my chest would fuck me up as badly as it did. But it did. I'm afraid of losing everything. And I've already lost a big part of what I loved. I'm in the dark. I don't know what to do. Sometimes, especially now, I am just unsure if I'll even survive, you know. I can feel my body, I can feel everything that's happening inside of it. And I think, me more than anyone, I've paid attention to every single detail of what I felt. And I've always been living in my cradle of happiness. I mean, yeah, I was hiding often in video games and all that stuff, but I was also working on my career, and come to think of it, right before I got what I have now, I actually was excelling at that. For a month or two, I was really perfect. And now I look in the mirror every day and my eyes get progressively redder and redder and redder. I went to the doctor today, and for me, you know, it's all up here. This is not good anymore. I've waited, I've endured for 8 months almost. And she looks at my eyes, my clearly red eyes. I tell her that they were snow white. White as snow, even beneath the lids. They were white as snow. And she tells me my eyes are fine. I should stop thinking about it, you know. I said I can't. Because I know something's wrong. And when I know something is wrong, How the fuck can I sit by, especially when it cripples me the way it does? I go to bed tired, happy that I'm tired, and then I finally can sleep. And then in the morning I wake up, and I wake up feeling the same. I wake up feeling like I'm just fucking tired, ready to go to bed. You know, and I I look at my face, I look myself in the eyes, and I just see redness all over my eyes. I can feel the pressure of the blood in my eyes. It's scary, man. It's scary. I'm being forced to live with something that you don't know what it is. It's just one of the most, if not the most horrifying thing ever. People keep saying, you're just thinking about it too much. And people start thinking it's your mental state. It's your mental state, but it's not. I know it's not because I know. I've never believed in obscure fucking bullshit. I've never believed in any gods. I'm smart enough to know that I don't know. But I'm also smart enough not to fall for it. I'm smart enough for a lot of things, and I've never really done anything that just put me on the wrong path, I've never been susceptible to addiction, but I was brave enough to try anything. Now I don't smoke, now I don't drink. Hell, all my life I've found joy in the stories and things, the possibilities I found on my computer. And the last few days, because I worry so much about my eyes, I forfeited even that. And before this, Russia closed the gas, so the Europe has to pay way more for gas. I got a few escapes in my life. One was my ex-girlfriend. I don't see her anymore. Two was the baths I took all day. Now that's not healthy, but it's what I did, and I guess that got taken from me too, right as I had to start dealing with whatever I feel, which is just agony the whole day. Because something is wrong with my body. And my head keeps screaming at me every day and every night. And now, slowly and increasingly, my eyes turn red. But the shallow breathing doesn't fade. I don't know what my body is trying to do, but it's safe to say that I'm pushed to my limit. And I don't think I ever had much of a limit, because I'm not really groomed for fighting or anything. I just played my game, The actual reason why I make this video is because I forgot to do it yesterday and the day before. And because I am onto something new. A new idea of what I might have. Right now I'm filled with emotion because I'm just so scared of losing my eyes. Knowing I could see my favorite show. I know it's ridiculous, but just knowing that I watched it, nothing's gonna take that away from me. But I'm scared that I'm gonna lose my eyes. And I said plenty of times, I can handle a lot of things. I've been enduring for 8 months and I don't think anybody understands what. Or at least I haven't found the people who did. But I can't take it when my eyes go out. If my eyes actually fail me, I won't be able to carry on. And I guess what I'm saying is I'm just so goddamn fond of life. I love it. I love everything around me. Even the process that's taken me right now is something that I am interested in. I want to solve it, But more than anything, I just want everybody to be happy. and I want everybody to help each other, but they don't understand. And more than that, I want myself to be happy even. This is gonna be a bit of a longer video again, because I have a lot to talk about. I was never really good at short but powerful. First things first, the thing that my family puts all their trust in, to which I say, I know it's not the solution. Vitamin D. Because that was found to be lacking, which is perfectly goddamn logical if you sit in your room being in agony for 7 months. I'm gonna take these for a second. My dad works upstairs now. So I need to stop wheeling or crying or whatever, or they'll hear it. So back to the point. It's hard for me to handle the current situation because there's a lot of things I want to put on my shoulders, but I'm already being pressed to the ground right now, and nobody really understands why. Because, well, for my parents, for example, to them it just seems like I've been sitting in my room not doing much, but I'm trying, I guess. It's all very scary, and look, I don't know if my dad is listening by the door right now. He works upstairs, so I'm having a hard time talking about it. But whatever. I'm onto something else. So I've been thinking, surprise, you know, um, before I go in on everything else, I've been thinking a lot about what it could be I have. And I do that every day. It's not like I just decided to think about it, but I had some sort of a breakthrough. Um, Now, this is not going to solve it yet, but it makes more sense. And to explain my thought process, just to say it out real quick, I think there's something wrong with my blood. I don't think it's the nerves, I think it's blood. And something that's lacking in it, or something there's too much of in it. But the problem might lie deeper than that, and I'll explain why. Okay, so lately my eyes are getting faster, more red, faster, and it's killing me. It's absolutely fucking killing me. This is not fun. I went to the doctor, like I said, and they said it's normal, which is reassuring. But what's not reassuring is that it's hard for me to give it a place, to park it somewhere, because first of all, I know these veins, they don't disappear as fast as they come. So my eyes are probably gonna get fucked even worse, and I don't know how much I will be looking like a red-eyed creep for the rest of my life. And this is something very deeply hurting and scary to me. And that's just the way it looks. If nobody really understands that a deep connection always comes from looking somebody in the eye, and I guess there is an eventuality where I learn to accept the way I look, and that I somehow get the people that I love to understand it, which I think is a possibility. It'll make life harder. It'll make me less appealing. But that's that, I will be able to live my life and see and enjoy. Now that's if my eyes get red and it stops there. Here's the issue. I don't know when it's gonna stop. My eyes have been becoming progressively worse, and I have tried goddamn everything. I have, for days, laid off of my computer. I have stopped with my hobbies, the things that I do every single day. And yet they still fucking grew. My veins are still growing. And I am now convinced, almost 100%, that the issue was never that my eyes are dry. I'll admit that they felt dry, yeah. But I don't think it's the reason why the veins are growing. I've been living here with the air humidifier on max, not even behind my computer, with special glasses. When I look at my screen, I got the screen brightness turned down to a minimum. I got night lights and everything on just to make sure, and last so many days, I can explain this forever. I've done everything, all right? I've drank enough water, more than I even had to make sure that wasn't the problem. I read online everything that could potentially give red eyes, and I followed every single line by the book, and still my eyes remained to get, redder. And here's the thing, my headaches seem to have been changing, at least over the last few days now. First thing you think of is the vitamin D. Because, duh, that's the thing you've been taking for the past 3 weeks now. Exactly 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. 3 weeks. Never mind, 3 weeks. So I've been taking this for 3 weeks now, or 2 or 3, whatever. Who gives a shit, right? So that could be contributing to the headaches being less severe. Then again, I've had moments where for 2 days it seemed like it was less bad, to the point where I was even able to convince myself that it was going away, but it wasn't, and it always came back. And to be honest, I think most of the relief that I felt was just the emotional ups and downs that I had. I think it got really bad for me mentally, and then I crawl back up, and that's how I've been doing it the last 8 months. That's the only way I've been able to go on, is by embracing the suck, and then getting worried, everything gets so bad because what if, and then it goes back up because I'm basically at the bottom, and from there the headache progresses. But the eyes progress, but the headaches kind of stay the same. So I've been able to just keep myself going on a constant level of headache, essentially. So I think most of those days, maybe the last few days, are like that too. I don't understand my emotions very well, and I understand them to a very deep amount, but not enough to make any statements about them, right? The social aspect of emotion, at least, is something that I've always been lacking in, but that's just me. It's not that I don't understand emotion, so I'm trying to make something fit here, right? But okay, so think about that. So my eyes progressively more red. This shit is scary as fuck. Okay. My headaches seem to be changing last few days. Now, it's just a few days, so I can't really say anything yet. But I think what I'm feeling is the effect of more vessels, blood vessels, growing everywhere. I noticed a change in my nose as well the past few days. And I've had it before where it seems like it's a weird sense that I cannot possibly explain. And the only certainty that I have, because people keep thinking I'm just making this shit up, is that I didn't have it before. But my nose is changing in a way too. It feels like I'm not really smelling things, but it's just a sense. It's not a smell. It's like I put the radiator on, or whatever you call it, like the heat sink, the heat thing, and my room becomes very hot, and you get this like weird feeling of warmth or something. And that's been in my nose, especially today, and yesterday a little less, and the day before that a little less. However, I'm noticing change. Now, on one hand, that makes me happy, because change is change, and it makes me happy that something is changing. The scary part is that I don't know if it is even changing at all. It could just be me or anything, you know? So it's, once again, I'm just completely in the blue. And I want to focus on normal life, but how hard is that when I don't even dare to look at my own girlfriend anymore? You know, I want to look her into the eyes, but I feel like a total goddamn creep when I do. I think new vessels are forming. My headaches were constant, not something that periodically comes and goes, like all the primary headaches, for example. Even tension headaches do not last constantly for 8 months. So I know this is a secondary headache caused by a more serious underlying issue. So my eyes keep getting more veins. My headaches seem to be changing. They're a little bit less severe, it seems. But also I get dizzy more quickly. When I'm in the bathtub and I sit in the hot tub, I can feel my veins bonking. And now when I do that, you know, I used to just lay in there all day, and now when I do that, I get dizzy, like fainty. You know, all that stuff. I think my body, to come to the point, is making new blood vessels to try and fight whatever happened. Now there's two possibilities here. One, my body is doing something that's gonna hurt me. The system of growing new vessels is just shooting, you know, and it's a desperate attempt, or it's been going on, because ever since I got this, the first month of me getting this, I already saw one big vein coming in that I never saw before. It was the first vein on my eye, and then it intersected with a second one, and that became the reddest part of my eye to this day. And so it's been doing this since the start. I know that much. I've tried every remedy in the book for dry eyes. I don't think I have dry eyes anymore. And even if they're a little dry, I don't think they're the cause of what I'm seeing, because the redness is coming from everywhere. Behind my lids, everything. There's enough fluid coming out of my eyelid. No, that's not the issue. The only thing that kind of threw me off is the fact that the only place where it is not fully red yet is on my left eye in the top. That part is the least red of everything. So I thought it was the fluid, you know, because your glands for fluid production are in your eyelids, like that. I thought, of course, it has to be that, dry eyes. Maybe it's a combination, I don't know, but it is not just dry eyes. There is no fucking way that it is just dry eyes. So my head is, sorry, I'm tired. I only slept 5 hours. My girlfriend actually pushed me to not go to bed, because she think it's better for my rhythm if I just stay awake instead. So yeah, but anyway, to get to the point, I think, because I can babble all along, but let me just say what I think. I think there's something wrong with my blood. Not per se even my blood. I think it's not a coincidence that I had weights on my chest, and the day after I got this, I've been leaning towards that even before I got this whole eureka moment. I've been leaning towards it. My chest, especially right here, my right lung, has always been at the center of what I have. Now, I don't know what irreversible, stupid damage I've done to myself by putting that fucking weight of 24 kilograms on both of my chest sides, but it's not a coincidence that when I breathe in sharply, that there is shocks coming up that walk up here to the lower side of my jaw when I breathe in sharply. It's not a coincidence that I have pain right here. There's something here that's going on. And ever since that happened, I got headaches as well, and I got my eyes. So I think there is something wrong with my blood. I think my body is trying to supply the demand that my cells are screaming for. And I think the headache is a result of whatever is lacking or whatever is changed, whatever is not homeostasis in my cells. And I think every cell in my fucking body has been screaming for this, especially my head. I don't feel anything in my hands that is off. My legs, only the breathing and my head. So I don't know how my hands react to it. So I read on the internet that over the course of time, your eye gets new veins, and some of them are permanent, and that's logical. It's because of mostly a lack of oxygen, and it wants to supply that. Now, I've been chronically tired. I have been chronically tired. And chronic headaches that do not stop. They only seem to get worse when I relax, because then the focus on everything else falls away, and I can focus on what I feel, which is exactly what's been tormenting me, right? With that said, I think the saddest part now is that I think I was right from the start. The first day that I felt this, I knew that something was wrong, but I was ignorant enough to ignore it. I thought to myself, this is not something I felt before. I don't feel any leeway, if that makes any sense, in the symptoms I have. This is not good. But hey, maybe it will resolve, because I don't know what it is. I think I was right the first fucking day. Something very delicate and very essential to me has been damaged. And I think it is to do with my lungs. Now, my saturation is fine. According to the doctors, my saturation was fine, and I had headaches back then too. So what I'm getting at here is I don't think things have been getting worse in terms of that. I think it's just the same as the first day. And I think starting that first day, 11th of August, my cells were screaming because they did not get enough oxygen. Now, there's a possibility that it is something else. Of course, and in fact, I would say it's bigger than 50% that this is not the solution or the answer, but this is the only theory so far that I've built up, because that's the way I think. I think this could be it, and then I think of ways it could not be it. Vitamin D is long behind me. It's not vitamin D. I had vitamin D, all that stuff, However, this theory is different. I think of so many ways that this could fit in with what I thought before. So many ways that this could do what it is doing to me. So many ways of how it could have happened, what could be the cause of it. So many ways of it just not being what I think it is. And I never thought about it because my oxygen saturation was 98%, which was perfect, right? So logically, you would say there's enough oxygen in my body, yet I think it is the answer. And that sounds ridiculous, right? Why would circulation not be okay? If there's enough oxygen in your blood, then you should just have enough oxygen. You know what I mean? But maybe the amount of oxygen is good enough. Maybe it's something that is broken here that's fucking up the circulation. Now that sounds really far-fetched, but the more I talk about it, the more you will understand that it is actually a viable thing. It makes complete sense. My headaches are getting less. Just a tiny bit, but as my eyes now suddenly progress really badly, as my body is making new veins, all of a sudden my headache gets slightly less. I feel like it's helping to a little extent that my body is making veins. Why do I get fainty? I mean, you can argue that I made this all up or that I'm just, not right in my head, or you can argue that, what does he know? He's in the blue. He's just making wild assumptions. He's desperate. No, I'm not. I know that because I know. There's too many things clicking, too many feelings click. When something clicks in my head, and I don't often say this unless I am willing to bet my life on it, it fits, and I'm right. So that said, I don't need to convince myself because I believe myself. I have to trust in myself. I can tell you and me and anybody else, whether they believe it or not, that there's almost 100% certainty that I'm not making it up when I say I was not fainty before. I've been sitting in the bathtub for my whole entire fucking life. So all of that shit happens now, right? I get fainty in hot water. I don't sweat as often anymore, but I guess I don't go as all out as before because I'm just scared in the gym. But so I wouldn't have noticed it that easily, but things are changing. So my nose changing, shock going up my neck when I breathe sharply. My eyes are making new veins. My headaches are getting slightly less. What else do we got? The feeling of tight breathing. With the first few days, all I could really do to describe what I felt was saying something is wrong with my breathing. My lungs feel irritated. My windpipe feels irritated specifically. I feel like breathing isn't as easy as it was. It feels like there is an obstruction or something pressing on something else. This is the essence, the closest I can tell anybody, and myself as well, what is wrong with me. Something right here. And I think because I was always gasping for air, but it doesn't satisfy. That's what I had till now. Right? I was in the early days, the first few weeks up until this day, I have been but I have been gasping for air, yet it did not satisfy me. I've been strafing off relaxation as much as I could. I've been overindulging myself in stimuli just to make sure that I don't feel what I feel when I relax. And at the start already, it was just so weird to me that why am I chronically tired, but my tests are fine. When I go to the gym, I have the same performance. How is that possible? How is it possible that my oxygen saturation is fine, but yet I keep gasping for air? How is it possible? It's hard for me to say it out loud. I've just been making connections in my brain so goddamn fast and so hard and so much every day. Now, we all know that can have negative side effects because if you indulge yourself in that, your life joy goes down. But guess what? If I do nothing, I can already tell you right now, I'm just gonna die or I'm handed over to whatever is happening to me right now. And I'm not the fucking kind of guy who lays down and fucking dies. I'm the kind of guy who does something, at least. Something's wrong with circulation. Now, I would argue that in the least, there is something that my cells want that they don't get. Why would I get headaches? Either they get too much of something, be it my neurons firing constantly causing headaches, or they have a lack of something. Maybe some nutrient that it wants, or maybe there's too much pressure. And I've bought this fucking blood pressure thing. I've been taking it every goddamn day almost. Seems to be normal, kind of. But there is something that changed, and that's the least of it, right? Now, most likely this is in my blood, because why else would my body be expanding vessels it is trying to supply demand. Or, whatever happened here fucked up the system of new vessel growth. Even if this was never the cause, even if the weights on my chest were never the cause, there are no signs of viral or bacterial infection based on the symptoms that I have. My eyes, if it was part of an infection, they would have found the infection values, I don't know what it's called in English, in my blood. There's nothing in there. Right? My eyes should be pussy if it's caused by bacteria. It is not. I think there is a very, very simple lack of oxygen to my brain, oxygen to my eyes. And I think that's not because my lungs don't take up enough oxygen. I think it's because of the thing that I described the very first goddamn day that I got this. Weak breathing. I think that would explain chronic tiredness. Because if there's something lacking, you can feel like shit, you know. Even a lack of vitamin D can make you depressed. It can make you depressed to have a lack of vitamin D. It can cause headaches, all that sort of stuff. So it could be that it's not oxygen and it's something else. But then the doctors would probably have found it, I would say. I trust the doctors with years of experience, you know, to have found something then. And they didn't. More of, why are my lungs irritated then? See, if this was all gone and it was just a headache, that would be a huge clue. It would be mega. Because it meant that there's something wrong, but the rest is fine. Now, based on what I felt, this is the origin of what's wrong. This is what's affected by it. And this is the repercussion of my body trying to fix itself. That's the eureka moment I had. There is nothing I can think of that would throw it out. Yes, the saturation is fine. But that doesn't mean that, especially when I relax, when my automatic breathing takes over, do I feel the headaches. Right? Like I said, why don't I feel worse in the gym? Why do I still get the same results? It's because there's nothing wrong with how my lungs take up oxygen. There is something wrong with my breathing. And when I go to the gym, I become exhausted. And when I am very intensely watching something, my manual breathing takes over. I breathe myself. I put extra power behind it. Now, if I put too much power behind it, I get pain in the upper side of my right lung, right? So there's still something that's pretty annoying there. And even during the gym, I could still sometimes feel that I'm really tired. But never really headaches. They would go away as soon as I start manually breathing, or at least they would dim. Now that could be due to two reasons. One, overstimuli. I've been overstimulating myself because that helped, right? So could be that it's just because I'm gymming. I have like all these feelings that I'm focusing on, all these impulses, all these people around me. And that generally helps me. Now it could help me because I start breathing more automatically. Or because the impulses just distract me from mental depression, stuff like that, you know. But it's not like this throws my theory into the water, because it actually makes perfect sense. Why would I get less headache when I'm in the gym? It's because my breathing becomes stronger when I'm in the gym. Or when I'm excited. Yet when I try to relax and my brainstem takes over, I can't. And I'm starting to gasp for air. I did it while watching my show as well. I gasp for air. Chronic fatigue. Eyes that become red of veins. And lungs that feel like something is not right, irritated, like a dry cough that only makes things worse. I don't know what's wrong in my chest, and the hard part of it, is exactly what I feared the first day. If it's inside my chest, there's nothing I can do about it. Not much. There is some things I can do, but not much. Because it's covered by ribs, the things that are literally meant to protect everything inside of it. It's not like I can do anything. And it's not like I really want an operation or like surgery, I mean, because between my ribs are the muscles responsible for my breathing. Cutting things open might only make it worse, which means I'm in a very tough situation. And if that isn't worse enough, every doctor is trying to tell me to just move on with my life, even though I noticeably see my eyes getting worse, even though I can't lay on my belly anymore when I sleep because my eyes hurt of the blood pressure, because there's so many veins in it now. People are so goddamn stupid. They're smart, but they're so fucking stupid. So that's my eureka moment. I think there's something wrong with circulation, causes the headaches, causes the eyes. And I don't know what to do about it. To be honest, at this point, it feels like I'm the first cancer patient alive. Except, I don't know what I have, but I guess they didn't back then either. I'm dealing with a rare disease, something that is factually crippling me. Now, my neurologist came back with her results, and she ruled out any possible neurological disorders that we know of. Basically, that's what she said, which makes me really happy. However, I think it makes perfect sense. Nothing was seen on the CT scan. Nothing was seen that was out of the ordinary. There were nothing. And these guys are trained to look at these things, right? To look at the extreme things. Now, the good news is that rules out some serious issues, and it gives me more strength today, right now, to move on, because I know that all these professionals, to the best of their abilities, tried to see if something was wrong and they didn't find it. Now, that is by all means something that should comfort me and make my life better. It doesn't change the fact that my body is changing right now. It's trying to do something. I don't know if it's doing something because it is misguided, because it doesn't know what else to do, or if it's doing exactly what it needs to do to get better. I don't know. I gotta trust in my body. But my body is just a system. And I'm part of that system, and I need to defend it. There is so much knowledge out there. I just don't have that base. I don't have the knowledge base needed for this. Which means I'm gonna have to look for a group that deals with these kind of things. I'm not gonna lay down. These doctors are helpful to me, but they work inside their precious little boxes, and their boxes are not helping me right now. So I need to find a group that deals with outside of the box people. And I talked to my doctor today in the 20 minutes we had, coming off as a lunatic, of course. Because I was like, oh, maybe it's this, that. And she said there isn't such group, but maybe I could try to look for it. And with those words, my trust in the whole medical system, at least my trust that I always had as a kid, I go there, they know everything. They have so much good stuff. All my trust in that fell. However, I still think there's people out there who have a lot of knowledge, and I think that the answer to my problem is also there. And even if my issue never gets exactly answered, as long as I have a remedy for it, as long as I have something that improves my condition, something that makes my eyes look normal, something that makes the pain less or the feelings less bad and makes me more normal, like the way I used to be, is welcome. Everything that can do that is welcome. So, with that said, after 50 whole minutes of emotional fucking speaking, what's my plan? I have no idea. And this is not me being emotional, this is just me breathing because I just feel fucking tired, man. But, I've been talking for a bit now, so that's that, I guess. I've been to the doctor today and I didn't go there without a plan. My plan was to ask if there was a group who could help me, and she didn't know. And secondly, and more importantly, to do something about my eyes. I'm worried about them. So, luckily, she's not a bad person, my doctor. She's working within her box, and it doesn't help. She is not listening to me the way she should. But I understand, because there's so many people who think that they know something, and it's really the professionals that manage to solve it. However, I think it's proven that they have not solved it for me, and they're not able to, as of yet, to find out what's wrong. So until that moment, and I should have said this to her, but you might want to listen to me more. But instead, she pins it on my mental state, probably. She's not saying that, but that is kind of what I'm getting from it. Anyway, she's not a bad person, and she asked me what I wanted, which is something she keeps doing. And it's so annoying. I want to be better, but yeah, it's obvious that she can't give that. So I asked if I could go to an eye doctor to have my eyes be checked out. Now, I think she sent a mail from that. She sent an email to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer that, make an appointment, and go to that eye doctor. Sadly, the waiting time is a month, but at least that'll give me a month time for my symptoms to get worse. And as they get worse, I have more grounds to stand on when I am right there. So I guess in the meantime, just let my body do what it does. Because even if it gets worse, there's nothing I can do about it right now. I don't have the knowledge or anything like that to deal with that. And if it does get worse, at least I'll have something to show when I get finally to the eye doctor. So I'm going to make an appointment, and I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done with this. So yeah, I'm not done with the doctors yet. I mean, these people have knowledge, and I want it. So that's that. That's my eyes. The rest of my body is still unexplained, so I got to do personal research. Now, I'm still planning to do a lot of work. I bought this skeleton to learn every bone, then every muscle, and then everything else. However, that's just a fucking chore. My mind is already so hard with dealing with everything that it's hard for me to focus on that. I want to have fun, and what I really want to do right now is just let go of this and go to my girlfriend and work to a better future and go to school and just, try to focus even though I'm tired. But as long as my eyes keep getting worse, that's for me just not an option, because I'm super, super scared, and I guess nobody can quench that scaredy right now. It's just gonna be there, and it's tearing me apart. And the doctors might think that that's because I keep thinking about this whole thing. It's because I can see my eyes noticeably getting worse. I think today, and this is something I'm not even sure about, but that my left eye had some sort of abnormality, in the sense that I noticed that there was a difference in my eyes. There was something off. Like when you close one eye, you try to look around. You're like, okay, you know you got one eye closed, so it's fine. But something's off. You know, yeah, of course you got one eye closed. But when you have your eye open, everything just seems kind of weird. Like you're missing a bit of vision or something, you know? If you completely forget that both of your eyes are closed, you just imagine that both of them are open, you know? And you don't obviously think about, oh hey, my eye is closed, that's the problem. Let's say that you don't know what the problem is. Both of your eyes are open and you can kind of see like with them, but also there's something off. Now my right eye was completely normal and my left seemed to have been, there was something different about it. I guess the best description is if you close one eye and the other one you leave open. So one of them gets used to the light and the other one doesn't. The other one gets used to the dark. And then after like 2 minutes, you go into a bright room and you open both eyes. What will happen is one eye will see everything way brighter, and because it's used to darkness, you know, the eye you opened, there's something off. Now, of course, then also, you know, but that's the feeling I had with my left eye essentially. And I hope that doesn't progress. I know there for a fact that the growth of abnormal new vessels, blood vessels, is possible. That is what's happening. There's no denying it. There's new blood vessels growing here. No matter what the cause, no matter why or what it's doing, there is new blood vessels growing. And with that comes, with any change, comes the danger of a few things. And one of the dangers of abnormal new blood vessels is that these things start growing close to the retina or something like that, and that they maybe rupture, leak blood into my inner side of my eye, which can cause blood clots, which could cause vision problems. The new vessels could obstruct or interact with the cable that goes from my eye to the back. You know, forgot what it was called, the retinal cable. I don't know the English word for it, but so there is a danger, and I'm constantly scared of it. And my plan right now is to go to that eye doctor. And since it'll take a while, that's that. And I know I take a goddamn long time to finish my points, but there's just so much that comes with it. I need to really get better at telling stories, I guess. More organized. But it's hard because even in my head, it's not organized. This thing that I'm doing, this talking to the camera right now, is because I want to improve myself. And because I want to put everything in order for myself. So that's why I'm not sharing this with anybody. It's because I'm allowed to make mistakes here. Anyway, that's the eye doctor plan. Secondly is just living as healthy as possible, which means I will have to try to get my mind off of things. It's just something I have to do. Even though everything is getting worse, or my eyes at least, and my head feels weird. I have to do that. Because otherwise it could just be contributing to the issue. So that's the thing. That's also a thing I need to do. I need to live generally happy. I mean healthy, not happy. I mean happy as well. Which means I will have to put time into things that I gotta do to keep my life afloat. Which means school. It means healthy food. And it means doing activities that take my mind off of things. Staying physically healthy as well. Obviously, I'm a lot more scared to do anything in the gym right now because the high blood pressure is scary to me. But, you know, you can't sit still. And my body might actually have a problem with circulation or with breathing so that the oxygen is not rich enough. So maybe it just becomes spongier to battle that, and it's just trying to go like fix the efficiency of my whatever is lacking, even if it's not oxygen. Could be something else. It's still trying to fix it probably. So sitting still is not a good option. I shouldn't sit still. I should do healthy things. And lastly, and I'm gonna actually write all this down, but the last thing that I can think of is to find a group that deals with abnormal things out of the box, but they also need to have a knowledge base. I never ever thought that my life would be fucking obstructed with disease, especially because everybody always told me how healthy I was. And to be fair, I deserved it. I fucking deserved to be happy, and I deserved to be healthy. I did everything I could to stay it. But in doing so, I accidentally probably made the mistake of breathing for a solid 10 to 12 seconds with 24 kilogram weights on my chest. An hour passed by already. There's just so much to say. I ripped off a piece of paper. Guess I'm gonna make a new plan. And this one's gonna come with a lot of scaredness. Something that will get to me more. This is not the last time I've been crying. It won't be the last time unless I drop dead. But that's just how it's gonna be. So, plan. First off, I, doctor, and then between brackets, show, I, proof. I will find a video of me filming my eyeball. Now you might think, when do you ever do this? But like I said, you don't fucking know me. I do this shit. I know everything that I know. And I know a shit ton about my body. So I have plenty of those, because I'm a biology fucking teacher, or a wannabe. And I've always been interested in these things. I've always thought my eyes were beautiful too. You know? And I was just interested in how sharp I could make pictures of it. So I have a few lying around. I'll show comparison pictures from now, or a few days before I have to go there. Versus what it used to be. And I'll show that with pictures, so they cannot fucking deny it. I'll even make it in the worst lighting. I'll over exaggerate. I don't give a fucking shit. Okay, eye doctor is 1. Number 2, live healthy. Between brackets, food, exercise. If my body's trying to replenish whatever sort of circulation issue it has, I should probably push it to spend energy. I can now feel one of those beeps in one of my ears. Coincidentally, I used to have that about once every half year or so many months, and now it's once every few days. This is actually the leading cause of me thinking that my eyes are not the only thing getting more vessels in them, because my ears from day one, as soon as this happened, the onset of it, have been beeping once every few days. Sometimes even really bad. Really bad. But hey, you know, I can still hear fine. I've already tried to listen maybe if everything is when everything is silent, if I can hear a beep, you know, maybe some a light version that I'm getting of tinnitus. But that doesn't yet seem to be the issue, or it's not bad enough. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Eye doctor, live healthy, food, exercise. And lastly, find group who can help. And they need medical knowledge. And they need to listen to my symptoms. Done. I hate this. Fucking hate it. And with all these scary things, and with all these weird fainty feelings, and with my eyes breaking as I look at myself in the mirror, I start thinking more and more about certain things that I have to do. For example, I would hardly forgive myself if I were to accidentally have done something bad and I ended up dropping dead without saying anything to the people I love. I need to prepare. That's the only way I can calm my mind down. So I think it's wise for me to spend one of these vlogs or vlogs I mean, to say my piece about everything and everyone. Because at the end of the day, you could drop that any moment, and I would not have been prepared if I died now, because what would I have left? Everybody would be devastated and there was no final word of me. Now I know this might be a little bit over exaggerated, because I appear to be alive. But with everything I'm feeling, and with nobody able to tell me what I have, and with me bloodshot looking in the mirror, my image of whatever is happening has grown desperate. So I am going to do that. I'm actually going to write that down too. Saying my piece to everyone in a video. Now, I've had more times where I was kind of daydreaming away and thinking to myself, like, what would I say to the person, you know? And I don't think when I make this video that I'm gonna cry a lot, because my emotions, like I said, I've never been really good at handling them too well. My parents, my brother, my friends, all of them deserve to really understand how much I care about them. I even hate myself for not being able to cry whenever I think about it, because they truly mean the world to me. My family as well. I mean, I never get the chance to tell my mom, like, how great she is, how fantastic work she done for me, how she's always got my back, you know. She's not the perfect woman, but I never expected her to be, and I think she's done a phenomenal job as a mom so far. If anything, I'm the one letting her down. And that holds for my dad as well. You know, he does his dadly duties, and the last year I've really seen that he is, as a kid I always used to love mom more because, you know, she's less hard for me, and I always try to stay away from the things I didn't want to be. And to be honest, I never wanted to be my dad because he was not a very good example for me. But lately I've been seeing, for the last year at least, that he is actually a pretty good man. And I can count on him when it really is necessary to, for example, pick me up somewhere. And I don't know, he's just generally a guy who's he's got his flaws, but he's a good guy. That's what I'm saying. The way he just interacts and laughs, and he's a good father, I would say. I've just never had any reason to say that to him. The only time that I really did show true care is when I was sick, somewhere in the very start of all this. And I kind of just got a breakdown moment. I hugged him and I said, like, I don't know what I said anymore. But that was me really showing something there, so guess I can't say that I never showed any love. But yeah, it's a father-son thing, so for me that is hard to admit, I guess. And my little brother is an amazing guy. He's fucking... I know I'm kind of already like spilling the beans here because I should do this in a separate video, but it's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. And like a bit ago when the doctors found the vitamin D deficiency, I was already thinking about ways that it couldn't be vitamin D, and I was already pretty much decided on it. But you know, my little brother saw me crying, and my mom as well, because I was in the evening, I had a breakdown, I guess, again. And they got moved by that. So they tried to help, or they really wanted to help. I know they want to. And my little brother also gave like options. He's like, oh, maybe it's allergies. And my mom's like, well, maybe I can take some of your blood and I can research it in the lab. It's kind of illegal, but you know, I'll do that. And then because of the vitamin D, my mom started like looking on the internet, and I was already convinced that it wasn't vitamin D, but she was like, no, it has to be. You got to give it time. You got to give it time. And I was sitting on the table that evening, and my brother and my mom were just talking to me like, no, you got to trust in it, you know. And they actually managed to do it. They managed to pull the rig of determinedness from under me, and managed to give me some hope that it was vitamin D. Now, of course, over the time I kept thinking, because that just made me more determined to think if it is really that, and thinking about it more just gave me more reasons to think it's not vitamin D. But they want to help, you know, and I could really see that there. And I think when it really comes down to what I'm trying to say is, before I really go into the video here, is I'm blessed. I am blessed with the family that I have and the love that I receive. So many people in my position would have already ended it because there's just nothing to go on for them, you know. I guess now that everything is hard, the things that keep me going really occur to me and my family. I've always loved. So I guess they deserve the tears, but I'm not always able to give it. But at least I've said it now, so that's a little bit of weight off my chest. I'll do another video where I say my piece about everyone. Probably in detail, so it's going to be a long ass video. I hope to keep things organized, but I've got a plan. Things just happen to be very chaotic right now. So, that said, I think that was the video for right now. Tonight I'm gonna chill with Jamie and Rick. We'll see. It's probably gonna be cozy. And I have a girlfriend to wonder for and to talk to, which I love doing. And if I go out, not to be dramatic or anything, but if I do go out, let's hope that it's with a fight. Knowing it's disease, my fight is likely right now. So I think it's time for me to realize that and to do something about it. Not that I haven't been. So that's everything. The weight of my heart and the things that I think is going on right now, and the fear I have of where it will lead me, but also the confidence I have because things are changing. Let's hope it's for the better. So that was it for today. It is right now not even evening. This is one of the few non-evening videos that I've done. I need to get my mind off things. I need to get some food. I need to drink some water. I think that will help me. Till next time.